And we're live. And as you can see, it's just me. We've sacked Stephen. Stephen's gone. We've sacked him. No, Stephen is away on a staycation. That's a popular word for the summer. He's away for this week. So you unfortunate lot are stuck with me for this week. So yeah, it'll just me here there. Oh, no. We've got, there we go. Hi in chat. Chat's actually working this week. I don't have to open a separate window. Now, usually we have, hello, Katie. Usually we have Stephen to stall while I tweet out the fact that we're live. But unfortunately, Stephen's not here. So I'm going to have to try and talk and tweet at the same time. This isn't me just appearing disinterested in you guys, but go from there. But yeah, what are our thoughts? Let me know in chat while I'm tweeting out your thoughts ahead of this Monaco GP. You looking forward to it? You're not looking forward to it? Who you think is going to do well and stuff? And I'll read through some of those once I have tweeted. Hi, guys. For Monaco GP preview. Boom. Now this is so exciting. Looking forward to seeing the McLaren livery very much. Oh, yeah. That was it. That is the big news of the week. The kind of Golf McLaren livery. That is a hell of a livery. Incredible. Incredible. Exciting having this iconic livery back in the sport. It's a really nice thing to go about, but also looking forward to the race. Absolutely. Monaco. I love Monaco just for the race oozes history. And I know, obviously, if you're actually new F1 fans or you're fed up of kind of boring races, shall we say, there, because overtaking is very limited. It's completely understandable why you would dislike Monaco, but for me, it's one of my favorite tracks on the calendar. It frustrates me that modern F1 cars make racing tough there, but we've seen with the Formula E race that was a couple of weeks ago that good racing is possible there. So F1, sort it out. But going into this weekend, it is the next round of Lewis versus Max. Katie always enjoys Monaco just for the nostalgia, I guess. Also, Charles' home race is special for him. Yes, obviously being a Charles Leclerc fan as well. So, Max versus Lewis, round 5. This is now between them. I feel it's Lewis Hamilton's in the bag. I do feel it's Lewis Hamilton's in the bag. Yeah. Max is always a bit rash around Monaco. Hey, Gianni in chat. Stephen's on a break. He's on a week off. He's away for the week. So, yeah, unfortunately stuck with me from there. Laura Johnson, no idea what is going to happen. Feel like Mazepin is going to cause chaos. Very possible. Very possible that could be. Hey, Zoe in chat. And Heinsberg, exactly. Monaco is history, and it's the only track I've visited. So, looking forward to it. Wow. Pretty cool only track to visit if you can only visit one. Gee whiz, I'm hoping for a wet race to shake things up, to be honest. Yeah, rain, not even as much as the past that rain can spice things up at Monaco, but it certainly would make things interesting. What was it, 1996 Monaco, was it, that we only had about 3 cars finish the race? I don't think we get those kind of situations now with the modern F1 situation, as Stephen would go, my favorite catchphrase. It's not good for modern racing, modern F1. There's a new trailer for the F1 2021 game. Awesome. That should be exciting with it coming out. But yeah, Max versus Lewis. I guess the pros and cons. Lewis is just so controlled around here. Mercedes have had a really stable car. Traditionally, Red Bull should have. Obviously, Daniel Ricciardo won there. I believe it's 2018. Daniel Ricciardo was. Obviously, Lewis Hamilton won at the last race in 2019. That tribute to Niki Lauda, I remember, with the red halo. Max was looking quick, but he got the 5-second penalty, didn't he, believe, in the pit stop. So, yeah, Max will be hungry too after Spain. I think he will be left frustrated that, you know, he was a sitting duck again for Lewis. And even if he's a sitting duck at Monaco, he can at least defend a hell of a lot better with the size of those cars, though. So it wouldn't be such an easy pass. But yeah, I can't see anyone other than Lewis Hamilton winning this race. I think Lewis has now got that advantage. And if Lewis wins and's won 4 out of the first 5 races, I think Stephen said last week, you're starting to go, now it's a bit of a tough ask for Max to come back, even though traditionally the circuits at the back end of the calendar will favour Red Bull more. You just feel Lewis Hamilton, when he gets a little bit of room in a championship, he's just got that ruthless edge to kind of keep going. Zoe says a wet Monaco is bad for actual racing as it removes the chicane as an overtaking point. Yeah, absolutely. Because everyone's just cautious. See the Legends ratings, Senna and Michael both 94, but they rated Michael a better qualifier and Senna the better racer. Interesting. I would definitely put those the other 2 round. But yeah, that's fascinating in the F1 game. David, hello everyone. Max for the win. Oh, David, Max for the win. Well, I think how it's going to plan out, I am going to stick with Max Verstappen in the fantasy. So I'm going to hope for a Max win, because that means he maximizes his streaks. Obviously, Max and Lewis will both be on streaks. So I'll be back tomorrow for the F1 fantasy on that front. But yes, I do believe that I think Joy's asking the question, what do you make a sprint qualifier in terms of fantasy? Should we wait until Silverstone to make a drive or settle for Monaco? There's always the risk. There's always the gamble. It's another 5 races that they've got to finish and hope that they don't DNF. But I would probably hold out for the mega driver at Silverstone. That's my gut feeling. I think this track could be the best for Russell to score points for his consistency in quali. Yes and no, Heisenberg. I would say he would have to somehow get his car into Q3. And if he does that, then he definitely has the potential, if he doesn't bin it in the race, to score points. I think if he qualifies even in Q2, the Williams will still struggle to kind of get into the points. But hi, Carola. Welcome into chat. Mazepin for the blue flag. Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. Ricardo, Nicolo Carrara. Ricardo and Norris for F1 Fantasy for Monaco GP. Norris still, because he's got double streak, I believe. But if you can get both of them in, although Leclerc I would probably favour over Ricardo. It's probably Ricardo or Leclerc, and I'd favour that one. Lewis has not been as dominant at Monaco as he has been elsewhere. I'll take Max. Interesting one, Scott. Interesting. I mean, traditionally, characteristically, we always think Red Bull, Adrian Newey, magician with aerodynamics, always has a car with great downforce. Monaco is slap as much downforce as you can on, because top speed's not really as an important factor there. So I can see that. But I don't know. Something about Lewis. I feel like Lewis is about to turn up the heat on Max. And Max is going to find out what it's really like to be in a battle with Lewis Hamilton in the championship. Hello, Infinite. Welcome to the chat. When is Mazepin going to bin it? Turn 1. He can't surely get much further than turn 1. I mean, the guy's pushing it on the edge. Lewis has only won Monaco 3 times. Correct. But technically, Graham Hill only won Monaco 5 times. But I know technically Lewis Hamilton has had a longer career and in better cars than, say, someone like a Graham Hill. But yeah, I know what you're trying to get at, Scott. Considering the dominance, he hasn't necessarily nailed it. Go for now. Leclerc turbo over Norris. Then I'm feeling a Leclerc turbo over Norris. I'll talk through that a little bit tomorrow, more in F1 Fantasy, but that's my initial ones. Max has seen the barriers in Monaco more than anyone. Max always drives on the edge. He'll push, and that's what I would say. If Lewis isn't dominant at Monaco, at least he knows how to win at Monaco. Max, on the other hand, is always driving on the edge, and his, on the edge driving style at the moment, I'm not sure if that suits a street circuit of Monaco. From that Mazepin straight into the swimming pool. Unbelievable. The amount of Mazepin jokes that we've got already. Happy with IMSA over the weekend. I know I am. Not sure about Katie. Yes, Zoe, you gloating away. The number 10 car obviously won in IMSA over the weekend. And the number 01 Chip Ganassi car with Kevin Magnussen with fuel issues, I believe, and ended up 5th. Do I swap out Perez just to get Red Bull in? Yes. Perez is not shaping up to be the consistent performer that I'd want. Until we start seeing a little bit more consistency from Checo, I think it's probably safer to go with a constructor rather. So you kind of still bank on those Perez points, but go for someone like a Leclerc who seems to be performing more consistently in the race. Leclerc hasn't had a good track record in Monaco. I don't think Leclerc's ever finished Monaco, has he, in his entire career? So no, he hasn't. But I don't know. I've got a good feeling about Charlie Boy this season, which means that it probably it'll go wrong for him again. But I do have a good feeling about Leclerc. So if I'm saying Turbo Leclerc, in fantasy terms, that always means do the opposite of what I say because I will curse it on that front. Since Stephen is not here, Renus greater than Pato. David, stop it. Stop it. You're going to hurt him. He's going to come back. He's going to read that and you're going to make him cry. But yeah, awesome result for Renus VK at the weekend. Great from Roman Grosjean as well. Obviously, past F1 driver, moving over to the States in IndyCar. Got off his first pole position in the series and finished P2. So that was superb as well. IndyCar podcast with the race review will be out. I was going to say next week. It's out later today at 11 p.m. UK time. I think that's around about 5 p.m., 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So go from there. Hello, Josh. Cure for Red Bull's woes. Clone Max, although Marco would probably drop him anyway. Yeah, fair enough. Marco always likes to keep him on the edge. So, okay, look, we've talked about Max and Lewis. Let's think about someone else. Battle for third. Looks like it's between McLaren and Ferrari. Who's going to come out on top between Ferrari and McLaren? Look at the characteristics that we've had so far on circuits. I'm not entirely sure we can take too much. But I would say Ferrari. I've got a good feeling. I feel like Leclerc and Sainz will outscore Norris and Ricciardo this weekend. That's what I'm going for. Wow, no subtitles. All right, I didn't think my English was that bad, Rox. I'm sure they come up with funny stuff. I'm leaving Zoe and Katie to have their IMSA little banter between them. Go from there. Carol, yeah, Renus is really good. Same date as Max's first win. That's very interesting. Interesting stat there, Carola. Ricciardo is always good at Monaco. He is, which makes my decision. That's why I was and ahhing about McLaren, because McLaren do have the Ricciardo factor, and Ricciardo had a better race in Spain to be improving. But I just have a good feeling about Ferrari. Stephen's not here, so one of us has got to say it. I've got a good feeling about Ferrari. They're going to do something. I know they are. Maybe. Potentially. Pick McLaren probably, because I've said pick Ferrari. Got a good feeling about Ericsson at Indy. We all saw how good he was last year before the tank slapper. Yeah. Indy 500's coming up. It's month of May. It's all good on there. But yeah, Marcus Ericsson's maybe one to watch out for. Definitely on that front. Ricciardo Turbo could be a nice differential for Monaco. Could be, but I still think Norris and Leclerc are going to be the better options because they've got the race and quali street. So that's plus 15 as opposed to Ricciardo, who will only get the plus 10 if he goes from there. Schumacher in fantasy, Heisenberg. Actually, Sainz might be better than Leclerc in Monaco. He might be. I mean, Carlos Sainz, do you remember last year when they released the highlights? Not last year. I keep presuming that it was last year, but it was 2019 when we were last at Monaco. I remember there was some crazy footage, when they release all the overtakes, like the good overtakes, because the TV doesn't cover it in the midfield at the time. They just focus on the lead for the battle and release it like halfway through the week and go like top 10 overtakes or top 10 moments. Carlos Sainz going up towards the casino just had like a mad overtake on the outside. Was at the start of the race. He was ballsy, proper ballsy overtake. So yeah, go from there. Mr. Peng, home race gives you an advantage normally. Usually does, but you never know. Going from that front. Zoe, I'm not sure about the whole Ferrari versus McLaren for P3. Both have said they are dedicated to next year. Ferrari have said they will stop developing soon. Same with McLaren. Well, exactly. So they're pretty similar at the moment. So that's why I think P3 is Ferrari versus McLaren. I can't see. I just don't think Alpine, AlphaTauri are anywhere close. So interest in that. Oh, sorry about your lacking in motivation to make videos, Liam. Keep at it, fella. Just, find the time. And if you want, you've got to enjoy it. And if you're not enjoying it, it's okay to take a break and you can always come back to it. But yeah, just never feel pressured to make those videos and never feel pressured to have to find the motivation. I know we're 7 months out, but if I wish to something Christmas, it's Merc contract for George and a trip to the job seekers office for Valtteri. Yes, Josh, I know. Ferrari's not a bad choice. Monaco can often throw in a wild card. Yeah, it can do. It can do. I was thinking Carlos over Leclerc too. Yeah, it's a very. I think Carlos is another kind of dark horse for the prancing horse. In Monaco, he wouldn't be bad, but yeah, I think both of them will do quite well. I feel Ferrari will do better. Ferrari won in Monaco recently, so Ferrari may have an upper hand over McLaren. Potentially, I'm not entirely sure. Quite a lot of changes have happened with Ferrari in that time. They've got a whole new driver lineup to that, different team principal. I know there's some guys behind the scenes, but the main management leadership has all changed since then. So maybe not too much of a crossover or help in that situation. I think Charles will want to perform at home and will be on top at Ferrari. Yeah, interesting. The home race doesn't always give an advantage. Only Hamilton has that. Absolutely. Hamilton smashes it at Silverstone. Cheers, Fergus. Thanks. Haircut was a couple of weeks ago, so you're a week late, but cheers anyway. Let's not forget Charles' overtake on Roman in 2019. Yes. But then when he attempted the same overtake on Hulkenberg, that's where his race ended, wasn't it? Okay, so I've gone Lewis over Max, Ferrari over McLaren. Now we drop into the rest of the field. Are Alpine going to maintain their strengthening in positions? Will Ocon continue? Because Ocon might be a surprise contender to score some really good points this weekend because his qualifying for the last couple of races has been on fire. So, yeah, that's Ocon's probably one to watch out. Is he one to watch out for? I suppose he's still one to watch out for. Will Alpine continue to look good? I think they look better on higher downforce tracks, although is Spain and Portimao more higher downforce? I suppose it kind of is with the cornering and the elevation changes, especially at Portimao. So, yeah, I think Alpine look good. So I suppose, yeah, that's it. Alpine, AlphaTauri, Ocon versus Gasly. Who's going to come out? Both have potential qualify. Which one is it going to be? And go for now. I think Roxy is going to start an interesting debate between George Russell and whether he's still good enough for the Merc seat. I know Ocon has been thrown his name into it as well. Alpine greater than AlphaTauri because the Renault engine has more torque in low RPM range. David, unbelievable, coming out with a technical analysis, and you can't argue with that. It makes sense. Monaco has always lended itself, especially in rain conditions, to favouring that. Hopefully, not that I think we will get rain in on Sunday, but I feel like Steve was saying last week, AlphaTauri a big disappointment. They looked really good in the 3 days of pre-season testing. We didn't get much to kind of go on, but they did look like, they were going to be something more than just a second team to Red Bull. But it seems like they've just slotted into this no man's slot, I suppose, fighting with Alpine. But if Alpine kind of step it up and keep going, then, you know, they're just kind of in no man's land, ahead of the Alfa Romeos, Hasses and Williams, but behind everybody else. So it's kind of, yeah, different. Thoughts on Ricciardo? Can he match or beat Norris? If Ricciardo is going to beat Norris somewhere, it probably is going to be here. Not if, because I think over the course of the season, Ricciardo will beat Norris. Norris seems to come out, his trend seems to be in the seasons, come out the block strong and then not necessarily fade away, but I suppose it's kind of fade away. Maybe his teammates just get stronger through the season, and I'd expect that situation to happen with Ricciardo. So, but Ricciardo is traditionally strong at Monaco. I would back him to beat Norris on that. But yeah, Monaco 1996 was brilliant. I quote Christian Horner, Frenchmen go well at Monaco. There you go. Gasly top 5. Gasly and Ocon top 5, or just Gasly to beat Ocon? He was good with Red Bull here. And if he was good with Red Bull here, and he wasn't good at many races in his time at Red Bull, then yeah, I suppose you could be on with a shout. But yeah, just something about AlphaTauri and Mr. Swearbox Yuki Tsunoda is still struggling there. I think Alpine definitely have the stronger driver lineup in Ocon and Alonso, who is getting more and more up to speed with every race that kind of passes. I guess we kind of look at it. Mazepin will be last. We've already had plenty of jokes in here. I don't see him completing the race probably. Mick Schumacher, if he can beat one of the Williams in a Nicholas Latifi, would be a fantastic performance for him. George Russell maybe can get points, but I doubt it. And Giovinazzi, I'm going to back to beat Kimi Raikkonen in qualifying again, although Kimi is good at Monaco, though he doesn't like this newer layout of Monaco. So yeah, I probably would back Giovinazzi to go on there. But yeah, any general thoughts ahead of the weekends in chat? I know we've kind of been going on about it as we've going on and keeping interaction with chat. But yeah, I think that generally as a whole covers it. What do you think of the race is going to be as a whole? And do you think the new regulations are going to improve racing at Monaco? Because, yeah, at the moment, it is difficult to have really exciting, thrilling races other than just pure strategy of undercut and overcuts. It's hard to get any on-track action just because the cars are so wide now. I know, obviously, someone brought up Charles Leclerc's one, but because the cars are so fragile, I think the 2022 rules will make it a little bit easier because they're meant to be more robust, aren't they? I think Ross Brawn said one of the main issues with modern F1 cars is you kind of just touch or go over a curb wrong. They lose a bit on the aerodynamics and suddenly they've massively got a hindrance in performance and they basically can't touch anything, where the more robust cars might allow them, a bit like the Formula E cars, to bounce off each other a little bit more, and hopefully that means that overtakes will be a little bit braver. You can risk things a little bit more. Verstappen, Leclerc, Norris, Ricciardo, Ocon, Ferrari might be a good lineup for fancy or too risky. Yeah, I've debated that one, and Ferrari are on a race streak, aren't they? But I believe are on a quali streak, sorry. But Red Bull are on a race streak, so I would probably back them in fantasy. I probably would say the balance of a Ricciardo. Yeah, I don't think I would go with Ricciardo. That's my gut feel. I think I would stick with Mick Schumacher. I think Mick Schumacher will do enough on the points wise to cover it. There we go. Yuki has to control his swearing and his emotion in order to have any chance to beat Gasly in a straight fight. Look, I said it early season. Yuki Tsunoda never stood a chance against Pierre Gasly because Gasly is developing. He's now a senior driver within Formula, not a senior driver, but he's quite an experienced driver within Formula One now. Yuki is still very young. He's still learning his racing craft. It's his first season in F1. I expected Yuki to be blitzed out of the water by Gasly. But he does need to control his emotions better, just in general, to be a better go for now. I have a good point here. Will the Jazz have the whole weekend as Monaco parties, etc., take away from the attention from the whole Grand Prix weekend? Potentially, I don't know. Maybe Nikita ends up in the marina. There we go. Brilliant, Charles. Hot take: Yuki is more annoying than Mazepin. Probably in a race car, because Mazepin you don't really notice, but Mazepin is proving on the radio, yes, because Mazepin doesn't really say anything, but Mazepin's just annoying in just the fact that he's there, and he's really, it is tough in a Haas car, but he really is underperforming, and Mick Schumacher's really going fair. I know it's swearing here, but Formula E was brilliant in Monaco. No, Carola. Formula E was brilliant in Monaco. Absolutely superb race it was. That last lap overtake from Antonio Felix da Costa to win the race was brilliant. It was superb. And like I said, anything that makes Monaco look like a good racetrack, I'm all for it. So I was a big fan of that Formula E race. This is mean to say, but the racing can't be improved. The cars outgrew Monaco decades ago. No. I would disagree with that, Scott. I would disagree, because I would say that Formula E race proves that you can do the vintage cars that go around. Formula One cars have just got too big. I would say Formula One racing probably can't be improved unless they make the cars smaller. I'd agree with that point, but I wouldn't say racing in general can't be improved, because there have been examples of good stuff. Might scroll up for a bit. Some insight of the weekend. Nope, Zoe, I'm not reading that one. Just seen that. I think we are hoping for the regs will change things, but if Mark are dominant, then it will be boring. We've got to hold out, I think, for the budget cap. You've got to level the playing field. Unfortunately, Mercedes have the perfect combination. They have a world-class driver in Lewis Hamilton. They have a very good team in Mercedes, and they have the biggest budget on the grid, bar maybe Ferrari. But Ferrari have one of those things and a world-class driver in Charles Leclerc, but the team isn't good enough, and that's what lets them down on that basis. So will Merc be dominant in the new regs? I really hope not. McLaren's new livery will add 10 extra HP. I really hope so. I mean, yeah, that livery is incredible. Apologies, that was what I meant. The Formula E was fun to watch. No, Scott, yeah, completely. I thought that's what you meant, but yeah, no, agree with that statement. Then I think F1 has outgrown Monaco, which is sad. Funnily enough, obviously, you know, Scott, we love IndyCar as well. I would love to see IndyCar at Monaco. I think that would actually be a very good. Their cars are much more suited, and it would be very interesting to see it. But that would never happen. Like I don't think IndyCar would ever step on F1 royalty like that. Like I'm pretty sure F1 would never go back to Long Beach now. They're kind of just two street circuits that are forever famed with one series or the other. Chances of Leclerc actually finishing DAP. Surely he's got to finish one Monaco Grand Prix. He's too good not to, but for whatever reason, I don't know if he tries to overperform. Oh, no, the Sector 3 in Spain one. Can you resend it, Zoe? I couldn't find it. I'm not sure. Was it about the development between Ferrari and McLaren? That's the only one I can see, Zoe. Goes from that. Hi, Gianni. Welcome back to the chat. But yeah, that's okay. Well, let's have an interest, because we've got some time. And we've got through the preview fairly quickly because Stephen isn't here to kind of Keep me in check. And so we go crazy. Mercedes' secret weapon to their success is culture, as Roman confirmed in a recent interview. Yeah, absolutely. They've got a fantastic team who utilize that budget well. You know, like Ferrari. Ferrari have all the budget. They have all the resources to be a team at the top. But somehow Red Bull are the main challengers. That shouldn't happen. I know Ferrari were, but it took them, 3 years from the start of the turbo hybrid era to get up to it, and then they competed for 2 years and then completely dropped off a cliff again. It really isn't good enough for Ferrari, and you know, it's sad for the competitive of the sport that they fluffed it so much. First podium win of the season for Charles at Monaco would be amazing. It would be amazing. You never know. Never know on that front. I thought you would be proud, Gianni, as a Dutchman. You are a very proud Dutchman. It was a fantastic moment for the people of the Netherlands, with Rinus VK winning at the weekend. Very strong at that circuit, and yeah, was absolutely rapid. Ferrari always seem to F it up when they have a good car. Yep. Yeah, no, that's pretty much Ferrari just there. Verstappen, Leclerc, Norris, Ocon, Schumacher, Red Bull will be the best team until when? Silverstone. Or even, no, because Lewis Hamilton is so expensive, even when he's winning races, the points gap isn't big enough between him and Verstappen, who regularly seems to be getting P2, if not P1. It doesn't seem to be different than that. So, yeah, I think for the long term, that does seem to be the best team as it currently stands. But yeah, whoever hits the new regs best out of the box will dominate until the new rule changes again. Absolutely. It's the way F1 is. And you have to view F1. Hello, Craig. You pretty much missed the whole preview so far. But Stephen's away on staycation, so that's why it's just me on camera. Rather than that. We'll get on to the Monaco point in a minute. But yes, the team new regular, that's what it is. F1 is a constructors championship. F1 isn't the championship that shows drivers off to be the best that they can be. They're very good drivers in Formula One, but it is all about the teams and constructors. That is why they're the ones who get, that's why you don't get paid as a team for your driver finishes in the championship. It's where you constructor finishes a championship. So it has always been about the guys who can build the best car, and it's what makes F1 a team sport. And it's fantastic. It's all the work over the winter, over the factory, the pit stop guys, the mechanics, the race strategists, the team principals. It's all that stuff that kind of makes F1 brilliant for what it is, and such a unique thing in motorsport. I think only the World Endurance Championship can really compete on F1's level for ingenuity and racing technology, but F1 still globally in the single seaters is just miles ahead, in my opinion. David, Haas will dominate with the new regs. You guys heard it here first. Yeah, let's get behind it. Yeah. Indy showed that Grosjean isn't a bad driver. He can be fast, just sometimes really clumsy. You see, Carola, this is what I think in F1, and this is what I get frustrated about with F1, because a lot of F1 drivers get tarnished. Like Roman Grosjean, by a lot of fans, would say that he was a bad driver and he probably deserved, he's had his chance in F1 and he deserved to leave. He made what he thought was the right choice, but turned out to be the wrong choice, going for Haas rather than sticking with Renault. He probably would have been better off going from Renault there. Mike, I swear if you make me type it out a third time, I haven't seen it. Honestly, I haven't seen it. Go from there. But yeah, drivers like Grosjean were given a bad reputation, but you have to admit, like, the reason why Lewis Hamilton is very good. All right. He is fantastic. And there's no taking away of it. Lewis Hamilton is one of the greatest drivers of all time. But his Mercedes car is so good that they can afford to drive 80 to 85%. And because he is so good, that means the mistakes he makes is minimal. Because the Haas car, for someone like Grosjean, and let's use Grosjean as the perfect example here, has been such a terrible car since 2018. And I know people are saying that even in 2018, he made mistakes, and that is fair. But when you're in that lower midfield, or you're in the midfield and competitive, and everything, the margins are so close between teammates, you have to start driving the percentage of that car closer and closer to 100%, and even trying to overdrive the car, doing things that you're probably not comfortable doing, pushing the car just to stay competitive. And so when you're doing that, the more and more margin for error gets smaller and smaller. So therefore, the kind of probability of mistakes gets bigger and bigger. So therefore, drivers in the midfield and lower end of the grid end up making more mistakes. And so people then accumulate that, going, oh, well, that must mean that they're a bad driver. They're in that team, so they're making mistakes, they're crashing. But that isn't really the case. F1 isn't a racers championship. And, the more I would say, and I would probably say in the past, I'd be an F1 snob, just say, F1 has the best drivers. F1 has a bunch of very good drivers, but they aren't the best 20 drivers in the world. And obviously, examples of Mazepin, Latifi, no offense to Latifi. I think people would be fine for offense to go to Mazepin. But, these guys, you got fantastic, especially even in single seaters, Antonio Felix da Costa, Jean-Eric Verne, Nick de Vries, Stoffel van Dorn in Formula E. Then you got guys like Scott Dixon, Joseph Newgarden, VK coming up, Colton Herta in IndyCar. There are so many good drivers in other series that could do well in F1. But I think I've seen a comment from Scott there. Racing is often about timing and luck. And yeah, you have to have a little bit of luck to kind of go your way, definitely on that front. But yeah, exactly. It's engineering series, nothing wrong with that. It just makes for dull racing quite often. I think that's the perfect way to sum up Formula One. If you accept F1 for what it is, and you get enthralled by the engineering and the development race throughout the season and the tactics and the politics, that's what makes F1 great and such a unique series. If you want it as just a pure racer series for stuff like Monaco, you're going to turn up at the weekend and you're going to be disappointed because you're going to go, well, this isn't very good because there's no overtaking on track. Go for that. Pato greater than everyone else. I guess, David, Stephen saw your comment about Pato. But hi, Stephen. Hope you're having a good time away. I haven't sabotaged or got us cancelled too much on this stream. It's above Giano's and below Nicholas. Yeah, Mike, I swear if you make me type it out a third time. Yeah, that's what I've read. I can't see anything else. When you're overdriving a shitbox, mistakes are going to happen because results are still, regardless of a good or bad car. Absolutely, Max 77. Is it me feel that McLaren library is too much hype? Too much hype? Maybe, but I think F1 fans get a little bit excited more because, these rare liveries and quite a lot of the liveries stay the same for a long time. It's just something new. So I think it is also part of that. Oh, it's something new. That's exciting. But it is also a very good livery, I would say, on that front. Racing is about preparation and focus. Love that mindset. Over there. Zoe, Sector 3 in Spain is... I've seen it. Sector 3 in Spain is always a good indicator of Monaco pace. The order there was Red Bull, Merc, Ferrari, Alpine, Alfa, McLaren, Aston, Williams, Alfa and Haas. Nice. There you go. Thank you. I've finally seen it, Zoe. You can finally stop tearing your hair out because I've finally seen it. It's come through for whatever reason. But yes, that's very interesting. So that backs up my feelings on Ferrari. Alpine is an interesting one there. Alpha as well. So yeah, maybe McLaren will be a struggle, but I would expect McLaren to be ahead of the Alpine and Alpha, but behind the Ferrari. But Red Bull, Merc just proves it's going to be very close between those guys now. What do you think of McLaren livery? They should have had that livery from the start, miles better than what they have now. Yes, yeah, but liveries are all about sponsors, and I would actually probably like it a little bit more to go the IndyCar way, where drivers can have like individual liveries. But like I said, it's more of a team one, or even teams to have liveries, but like them to have specific weekends to have a special sponsor car. That would be nice going around. Results are still expected regardless of the car. Absolutely. Results are still expected regardless of the car in F1, though that's probably from management that's unreasonable. I would say from there, but no. Stephen saying hello to everyone again. If you drive race cars, that is your job, but you also want to enjoy it. That's why many leave F1 after making lots of money to drive Indy or sports cars to be able to win at still a high level. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think F1, especially over the years, you know, it's pretty much in bad seasons, you have to be in one car to have a chance of winning races. In good seasons, 3 or 4 teams can win the championships from there. I really hate the 2021 McLaren livery. It will be absolute disgrace if American doesn't use the new Gulf livery for the rest of the season. Love it, Azair. I know you are a big one on your liveries, man. But yeah, no. What a stunning livery it is. It is great from there. I don't think Red Bull and Merc will be close. Red Bull was 0.3 faster than Merc in that sector. Very interesting, Zoe. Very interesting indeed. Well, on that basis, Max should dominate the race, which will keep the F1 championship. Very interesting there. F1 is a hobby for Kimi. Look, I think I've said this before. I would take whatever Kimi Räikkönen says very much with a pinch of salt. Like, he will say it's a hobby, but I can guarantee you, if you worked with Kimi day in, day out at Alfa Romeo, I bet he is doing everything he can to be as fast as he can. I know we kind of joke about it with things, but I still think that, you know, although he says those things, he realizes that he has this persona in the media, and he's very clever, and I think Kimi plays up to it. You know, he's been around the game a very long time. He's heard all the questions. He's seen it all before. He knows how people react to him, and I think he's very clever on that aspect. Be good if one of the British teams do something for Silverstone and Mercedes go back to the silver. Would be nice. Go from there. Kimi and Gio are probably leaving after this season, and I know which 2 are coming in. Yes. Teo Pacher will be coming in, Zoe. I know. You need a bag of salt with what Kimi says. Absolutely. I like Kimi. He answers short but fair sometimes. I think, yeah, Kimi associates very much with the Dutch way. The Dutch way, from my understanding, Gianni, I think I heard from Dutch people, you are just kind of quite straight to the point, honest people. You don't fluff things out a bit, especially what I do in terms of fluff things around the point. You're very much decisive to the point, get it done. I'm here to say hi, and that is my role today. That it is, Stephen. That it is. Yep, that's right. Okay, Gianni. Right, okay. Last point before I round off this race preview. Monaco. Should it still be on the F1 calendar? Now, I'm a very big advocate of Monaco in F1. I think, you know, there's got to be that element to heritage to it. And one of my big positives of it, it adds value to qualifying. And I love qualifying. I think it adds something. And the Saturday qualifying at Monaco is the best Saturday of the entire F1 calendar. So that's for me why it should always have a place onto it. I would love if F1 could develop cars that could race better there. But yeah, what are other people's thoughts? I'm seeing Scott's just a blank yes. No other points. That yes. Azare, I love Monaco, one of my favorite tracks, honestly. Monaco is tradition. Tradition is Monaco. Absolutely, David. Qualifying in Monaco is one of the best to see. I think, yes, it should be because of the history and the uniqueness of it. But obviously, as a race aspect, it doesn't work with F1 cars currently. Yeah. Race in Monaco is usually a parade. It is Carola, absolutely. Monaco is a terrible race, but links to F1 to its past, it must stay. I think so, and I think it's important. So often we can want things to be shiny and new, but you know, F1 has a 70-year history. One of the big things in IndyCar is that it has the Indianapolis 500, where this year it will be the 105th running of the race. Like Monaco, I think, has been held a Grand Prix over 70 times. I want to put in the region of mid-70s. It might even be in the 60s. I might have overestimated in that aspect. But, you know, it's been there for a hell of a lot of races. And I just have to believe that the management in F1 will do something to sort out the cars, because smaller, more nimble cars, even if maybe they're not the quickest and they're more simple on the aero front, at least it's going to lend itself to better racing. But I know it kind of compromises the other philosophy in F1, like we spoke about, is the fact that it's an engineering series. And by engineering, you have to keep trying to make the cars faster, or, you know, at least that way. Personally, the thing is, history-wise, nothing will be like Monaco, and to lose that wouldn't be right. Absolutely, Craig. Monaco goes back to before modern F1, first race in 1921. See, absolutely. It was, yeah, one of these pre-ones. It was a single-seater. It was, just a classic event. Yeah, Monaco's held a race every year except last year, and you just can't go from there. Let's face it, it's a bloody difficult track to race. The drivers have an insane amount of confidence flinging cars around the narrow streets at that speed. They do. It's exciting. Absolutely. I mean, it's excitement in a different way. Overtaking for the sake of overtaking doesn't necessarily do it. And one of my favourite clips in F1 history, or one of my favourite race ends in F1 history, is Senna and Mansell in 1990. Oh God, I flopped it. It's 1992 Monaco. There we go. I'd almost fluffed the year. I was going to say 93, but it was 92. You know, literally, Mansell was all over the back of Senna's gearbox, and it's just such a classic. The rain races have been there. I know we don't have footage of it, but, you know, the people who were actually there to see Senna's qualifying lap in, I believe, 88 was incredible, insane. Yeah, having a tunnel on a racetrack is freaking cool. I remember just growing up as a kid and loving driving Monaco just for going through a tunnel. And even the sound on the game, the echo, the sound of an F1 car through the tunnel is almost deafening. Go for now. Stephen, there is only one Monaco. It can never be replaced. Well, I'm glad everyone's on my books that Monaco can never be replaced. I thought that might have caused a little bit more kind of controversy, but go from there. Actually, I really like Monaco 2019 with Max on the tail of Hamilton for more than half the race. Absolutely. It's exciting because it's that pressure of the drivers having to drive. And because someone like Lewis makes it look easy, we go, oh, well, you know, he just kept Max behind him. That was easy. Well, any point he makes slight mistake, he goes wide out of a corner, he locks up, he ends up in a wall, he gets terminal damage from that point. Max wins that race and Lewis Hamilton doesn't win it. I think you just have to look at Monaco in how the drivers talk about racing Monaco to know just how special a racetrack it is. Oh, have you left a link in it, Charles Taylor? Here is Senna versus Mansell. It's just, if anyone hasn't watched that, I think it's like 10, 12 minutes, the last few laps, after Mansell has to have another pit because I think he gets a puncture. Go from there. Hello, Nico's Pondering. Hello, welcome. But yeah, Monaco has had some great moments over the years, and I think you have to go into Monaco accepting that you're not going to get tons of overtakes, but looking for the intrigue and strategy. And I suppose it was even better when you had refueling, because you could do different stints on the refueling wise as well. Monaco is always a strategy race, especially, and it could be better with modern F1, but because the tyres at the moment, it's so difficult they just haven't got this partnership right with Pirelli. I look at someone like Firestone in IndyCar, and they've just nailed it with the tyres. Like, there is no issue with the tyres. They've absolutely nailed it in terms of it still comes into play, tyres at different stages of the race, putting people on different strategies. But with for Pirelli, and I don't think it's even Pirelli's fault. I think teams have had too much input. I think they keep giving mixed messages to Pirelli, and it's just an entire cluster mess of a whole thing with the Pirelli tyres. And it's until that's sorted, especially as that's one of the main key differentials in strategy. It's a really difficult one for Monaco on that aspect. My question is, how many safety cars do you think? I reckon 2, and imagine if it rained. It would be great if it rained. Maybe. We'll see. It'll be interesting if it rained. That's probably a better one. I'll go 2 safety cars. There's there'll be one for Mazepin, and we'll see one from there. Wow. Someone who lives in Monaco. Very cool, Gianni. Very cool. 2017 race was overcut everywhere. Absolutely. So overcuts, undercuts, where you're pitting, the strategy is going to be really interesting. That's what I would go in looking for the race. Expect less on-track strategy and more kind of strategy to come in the pit stops. Monaco works because it's Monaco, the history, the scenery, the yachts. It cannot be replaced or substituted. Absolutely, Scott. Absolutely. And guys, unless in chat you have, let's see, Match77 said probably the most famous street circuit. Yep. I'd say Monaco definitely is. And followed by, I think, the second best one would be Long Beach. And Long Beach probably lends itself to better racing now as a street circuit. But yeah, that's getting on to IndyCar. IndyCar is out. Podcast is out later tonight. But any other ones on the Monaco Grand Prix? Any other points from them? Would you change anything with the track? What was it? I'm struggling to remember, but there was an old, I think the layout that they had in, say, the mid-2000s, around about the 2004, 2005 time, I think that was a better track than now, but I can't remember the differentials. I may just be going on what Kimi Räikkönen said, to be fair. We'll go from now. Indy 500 was the week after Monaco, right? Correct. So you've got this weekend, Indy 500 qualifying, 10 to 30 decided on the Saturday, and also Monaco GP qualifying. Then on Sunday, you've got bump day and the top 9 fighting out for pole position for the Indy 500 and the Monaco GP. So it'd be good to watch those. And then the 30th of May, Memorial weekend, it will be the greatest racing in spectacle, the Indy 500. Has Sainz adapted to Ferrari better than Ricciardo to McLaren? Yes. As it currently stands, I would say yes to that comment, Nicolo. Yes, India week after. I would get rid of the curb out of the tunnel. What, going into the out the tunnel into that little chicane bit, the Nouvelle chicane. That was the one. Struggling trying to remember it. Go for now. Are you talking about the Nouvelle chicane, or are you talking about just? I suppose there's a little kink as it comes out the tunnel, isn't it? Ewok from Endor. Sorry, you're crazy. Monaco is an old donkey that needs to be put out of the pasture. No. Ewok from Endor. No. No chance. I cannot have it. Cannot have it. When was Le Mans? It's later this year. I believe it's August at some point. Go for it. Yes, that corner. Okay, Craig. I don't know. That's one of the... It's difficult because it's so... For F1, probably yes, you would get rid of it. But as that's pretty much where the overtake Antonio Felix da Costa made it, didn't he? Coming out of the tunnel. Yeah, it's F1 cars. They're just too wide. They're too wide. And McLaren livery for this weekend is just awesome. Absolutely, Simmer. Absolutely. The kink where most overtakes happen. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Any other questions? Or are we going to round it off there? I know we've been, about 54 minutes, which has been a decent one. But if not, I'll round it off here. Any attractive differential going into Azerbaijan? Interesting. Explain that better to me, Nicola. Are you talking about differential in drivers for fantasy aspect, or are you talking about it in terms of just the pure racing? Because Baku is better for racing, definitely, as a modern street circuit. Not the usual picks. No, we'll talk about that after the Monaco weekend when we do the preview for Azerbaijan, but not off the top of my head from that. Didn't Matt Javier completely ignore the kink? Yeah, he took a new line through the corner. Let's leave it at that, Carola. Yeah, is it nice and quiet without Stephen, the menace? Absolutely. Yeah, so quiet without Stephen. So quiet. I mean, it's left me all the work to do all week. Got to do F1 Fantasy for tomorrow. We've got another IndyCar podcast on Wednesday. Then we've got a feature video as well. There is no Motorsport Manager live streams this week, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, it is quiet without Stephen, but it's not the same. F1 Indy fanatics. It's a duo on that front. Mahavir was blocking Jack Aitken. Mahavir was doing a lot of things. I fairly busy going around. Mahavir, King of Monaco. Absolutely, you walk from Endor. But right, guys, I think that's roughly about time. Let's round off this live stream. It's been great. Thank you, everyone, as always, for joining in chat. Great discussions, as always. It's what makes these live streams so much better and so much more enjoyable. If Leclerc crashes, it's your fault. Yep, I will take that one on a chin. I will take the responsibility for that. But yeah, it's been a brilliant chat. Hey, walk from Endor. Don't hate on it. Don't hate on my Monaco. Okay. The chat are backing me up. We love Monaco. We love Monaco. But yes, look forward to the qualifying in Monaco. Saturday is going to be the day of the weekend. That's the one to enjoy. And exciting seeing drivers drive on the edge where any mistake is punished and will lead to a retirement in the race. It's going to be fantastic. But it's just a historical bit of F1 history that has an air of something special this weekend. So enjoy it, guys. Enjoy F1 being back. Look forward to F1 Fantasy tomorrow. We'll see you at 6 p.m. for that one. But enjoy the rest of your week, guys. It's been brilliant. So for now, you F1 fans, keep racing.